You've heard about the shift from 3D to 5D. But what if I told you everything you've been taught about it is a lie? They give you terms, concepts, philosophies. But here's the truth. The fifth dimension isn't an idea, it's a frequency. And that frequency has a feeling. Clear, potent, unmistakable. This video will show you what that feeling is, and why most people never fully experience it, even when they think they have. Because this isn't just a lesson. This is a transmission. So let's begin by remembering what the third dimension actually is, and why your nervous system might still be stuck there. There's something deeply off about this reality we call normal. Most people move through life believing they're free. Free to choose, free to dream, free to create. But if you pause, if you truly pay attention, you start to notice the static, the weight, the endless loop. You wake up, you check your phone, you feel that tightness in your chest, a dull buzz of anxiety, or emptiness, or maybe just nothing. You go through your day, you try to keep up, stay productive, be spiritual, manifest something. Yet somehow, you still feel caged. Even with all the affirmations, vision boards, and rituals, it's like something's missing. Like your dreams are right there, just beyond a pane of glass you can't shatter. In this video, you'll uncover why that's happening, why you still feel stuck, even when you're doing everything right. We'll decode the invisible blueprint of the 3D world and reveal the exact path to step into the liberating frequency of 5D. Not as theory, as a living energetic shift. Because the third dimension isn't what you think it is. Imagine living in a house with no windows. You were born inside it. Everything you know exists within these walls. You decorate the rooms, you arrange the furniture, you try to make it comfortable, but something always feels off. What you don't realize is that outside this house lies a vast, vibrant, multidimensional world. It hums, pulses, brimming with possibilities. And the only reason you can't see it is because you were taught not to look. That house, it's the third dimension. The third dimension isn't a physical place, it's a frequency, a vibrational field where reality is shaped by scarcity, separation, and survival. In this field, time is linear, identity is external, and the self is always searching. In the third dimension, the questions are always, what must I do? How do I get more? What if I lose it? It's a consciousness of control, of proving, of earning. And even when you try to rise above it, through spirituality, self-improvement, manifestation, if your inner frequency still vibrates with fear, the third dimension holds you like gravity. This is the trap so many souls fall into. They want expansion, but their nervous system craves contraction. They speak of love, but their thoughts whisper doubt. They long for liberation, yet still bargain with limitation. And it's not your fault. You were born into a collective agreement, a shared dream of limitation passed down for generations. But familiar doesn't mean true. Here's what quantum physics and ancient mysticism both agree on. Reality isn't happening to you, it's happening through you. Your thoughts aren't just private musings, they're vibrational commands. Your emotions aren't just passing moods, they're magnetic signatures. Your identity isn't just a story, it's a signal, broadcasting into the field and pulling in the matching reality. In the third dimension, you react to reality. Beyond it, you create it. And the moment you truly grasp this, not just intellectually, but viscerally, something shifts. The walls of the house begin to shimmer. Windows you never noticed appear, because the door was never locked. You were just taught to forget it existed. So let's walk through it together. Let's uncover the hidden forces still binding you to the third dimension, and how to dissolve them from within. What comes next isn't more knowledge, It's initiation. You're not here to escape reality. You're here to elevate its frequency. It's easy to believe you've already shifted. You meditate, you journal, you read the books, you speak about energy, manifestation, vibration. You tell yourself, I am on the path. And yes, you are. But there's a reason certain patterns keep repeating. A reason why, no matter how much you learn, your outer world still mirrors the same emotional imprints. It's because the third dimension isn't just a mindset, it's a system. A frequency system that conditions your nervous system to stay in survival, even as your mind dreams of expansion. The truth? You can think like a 5D being while still feeling stuck in 3D. And that's the trap. Because the third dimension is designed to be invisible to the one trapped inside it. You don't see the bars. You mistake the prison for normal. So let's reveal it now. Let's expose the subtle signs, showing where you're still tangled in separation's frequency. Do you obsess over time, feeling like you're running out? Like you're behind? Like your dream has an expiration date? That's 3D, where time is linear and urgency is God. Do you demand clarity, certainty, or control before acting? That's 3D, where safety lives outside you and risk terrifies like death. Do you measure worth by outcomes, achievements, or others' approval? That's 3D again, where identity is conditional and value must be earned. And most invisibly of all, do you feel you're doing the work, yet nothing shifts? That's because you're polishing the surface while the frequency beneath stays unchanged. Quantum physics proves it again and again. You can't solve a frequency from within that same frequency. The observer collapses the wave, and if the observer vibrates with fear, lack, or doubt, those are the realities that keep forming, even with positive words, even with aligned actions, even with a flawless vision board. The field here is not what you say, but what you are. And what you are is defined by what you feel on repeat. This isn't blame, it's clarity. Because clarity is power, and power isn't force, it's resonance. Let's go deeper. The third dimension thrives on repetition. Emotional reruns, cognitive loops, behavioral déjà vu. It's not just a system, it's a treadmill. You wake up and grab your phone. You read a message and compare instantly. You recall a memory, and your body replays the old emotion. Just like that, the past's vibrational blueprint reboots. Neuroscience confirms 95% of today's thoughts are yesterday's leftovers. The body, trained by repetition, craves its familiar emotional drug, even if it's stress, even if it's fear. Why? Because it's predictable. And 3D runs on predictability. But predictability isn't presence, and presence is the doorway to the fifth dimension. To truly shift, you must break the loop. You must become the witness, the conscious observer who sees the script and chooses not to play the part. And this demands something radical: responsibility for your state. Not for what happened, but for how you hold it, how you carry it, how you embody it. Ask yourself, what emotions have I normalized? What thoughts feel like me but are really conditioning? Where am I still trying to control reality instead of becoming the new one? Because the moment you spot the loop, you gain the power to step outside it. This is true awakening. Not just realizing you're stuck, but realizing you are the one who can break the cycle, simply by choosing a new frequency. And this choice, this shift, isn't about doing more. It's about being different. The field responds to coherence, and coherence begins with honesty. So let's be honest now. Where are you still living in reaction? Where are you waiting for something to change before you do? Because once you name it, you can let it go. And when you let go, you make space. Space for a new signal, a new energy, a new reality. And that space is where the fifth dimension starts to whisper. Let's move past the buzzwords. The fifth dimension isn't a trend. It's not about floating in endless bliss or escaping the world's low vibes. It's not a badge to earn or a label to claim. The fifth dimension is a frequency of consciousness, one that's already here, layered into the same space you're standing in. You don't need to go anywhere to reach it. You only need to shift how you are. So what does that look like? In 3D, you see life as separate. In 5D, you feel life is connected. In 3D, your mind says, I must achieve to be enough. In 5D, your soul whispers, I already am. In 3D, time is a ruler, a limit, a countdown. In 5D, time is fluid. It stretches, folds, and bends to your vibration. The fifth dimension isn't about avoiding pain. It's about transforming your relationship with it. It's not about denying the physical world. It's about illuminating it from deeper awareness. In 5D, you don't manifest by force. You manifest by alignment. You stop chasing and start being the version of yourself that already exists in the reality you desire. Because here, you grasp something sacred. Your future isn't coming. It's already here, vibrating at a frequency waiting to be met. Pause here. Let this truth sink into your cells. You're not attracting your reality. You're remembering it. Because everything you desire already exists as quantum potential. And that potential is tied to you, waiting for your signal to match. This is where science and soul collide. Quantum physics reveals that particles only form when observed. Possibilities exist in a field of pure potential until consciousness shapes them into reality. The mystics have always taught the same. The outer world reflects your inner world. The field responds to your state of being, not your pleas. And in the fifth dimension, being is everything. You don't act from fear. You respond from presence. You don't force clarity. You live by intuition. You don't seek approval. You rest in certainty. And this certainty isn't learned from books. It's lived with every breath. You enter a room, and your energy speaks before you do. You feel connected to all, yet need nothing. You live not as a seeker, but as a beacon. That beacon is your true self. The fifth dimension isn't about gaining more. It's about shedding what you're not, until only truth remains. So ask yourself, what part of me still believes I'm not there yet? Who would I be if I knew I'd already arrived? The fifth dimension isn't a destination. It's a choice. A moment-to-moment commitment to remain open, aligned, and true to your essence. It's not about dodging chaos. It's about becoming the stillness that reshapes it. And when you live from that space, not pretending, not performing, but truly resonating, the field responds. Synchronicities accelerate. Clarity deepens. People sense the shift around you. Opportunities seek you. Time warps. Because you're no longer trapped in the illusion of separation. You're transmitting a new frequency. You've become the version of yourself the fifth dimension awaited. Now, the question shifts from, how do I reach it? To, how long will I remain here? Because alignment isn't achieved in a flash. It's forged through consistency, integrity, and resonance. Having touched this truth, you're ready to embody it. Having glimpsed the fifth dimension, the real question is, how do you abide there? How do you match that frequency? Not just in fleeting moments, but as your natural state. This is the work. It's not complex, but it's sacred. To dwell in the fifth dimension, you must operate not from thought, but from vibration. Not from results, but from alignment. So how? Start with this. You are both receiver and transmitter. Your frequency broadcasts through thoughts, emotions, posture, breath, and the quantum field answers, not to your words or wishes, but to your signal. So if you want to collapse a 5D reality, a timeline of harmony, abundance, purpose, and love, you must first align with it. Here's how. Presence is the portal. Nothing exists outside of now. The fifth dimension isn't something you reach after healing, or once you finally manifest, or when things settle down. It's right here, woven into the present moment. When you become radically present, when you slow down enough to truly observe your breath, your thoughts, your energy, something miraculous happens. You step outside of time. You shift from doing to being, from thinking to witnessing, from reacting to choosing. In that space, your vibration rises naturally, because presence is your default state, before conditioning took over. Make this a practice. Sit in stillness, eyes closed, and observe without judgment. Let thoughts pass like clouds. Let your body relax and feel the moment unfold. That stillness, that silence, that's the gateway. Coherence between heart and mind. Most people live fragmented. They think one thing, feel another, and act in ways that contradict both. This misalignment creates static, noise in the field. But when your mind envisions a future, your heart resonates with it, and your body begins to live as if it's real, you become coherent. This coherence is measurable. Neuroscience and bioenergetics confirm the heart's electromagnetic field is 5,000 times stronger than the brain's. When that field aligns with intention, you become magnetic. Try this. Close your eyes. Breathe slowly into your heart. Recall a moment of deep gratitude, love, or peace. Now, fuse that feeling with a future self already living your desired life. Let their emotions flood your being. This isn't fantasy. This is entrainment. You're tuning your system to a new timeline. You're becoming the signal that pulls that reality into form. Embody before evidence. In 3D, you need proof to believe. In 5D, you believe so deeply that proof appears. This is where most falter. They wait for external validation, asking, why hasn't it happened yet? But the real question is, who am I being while I wait? Because the waiting is the creation. Become the version of yourself who doesn't wait. Move, speak, love, and choose as they would, not as pretense, but as truth. Quantumly, that version already exists. The instant you match their frequency, you collapse into their timeline. That's how the shift happens. Not through wishing, but through vibrational alignment. Surrender is the superpower. 3D taught you control equals safety. In 5D, the opposite is true. The tighter you cling, the slower the collapse. The field responds to pure trust. So surrender, not by quitting, but by yielding to the intelligence guiding you. Trust that the highest version of you isn't distant. It's you, freed from fear, doubt, and control. Let go. Allow the old stories to dissolve. Let the need to figure it all out fade. Let energy move through you and trust what arises. Because the moment you stop resisting the current, you realize the river was always carrying you home. You've come so far, from seeing the invisible prison of the third dimension, to recognizing the loops that kept you stuck, to remembering the true nature of the fifth dimension, to learning how to embody that frequency in daily life. But now, there's one final shift, because understanding isn't enough, feeling isn't enough, even alignment isn't enough. At some point, you must decide. You must cross the threshold between I am trying and I am. This isn't about forcing a new identity. It's about revealing the one that's always been there. Beneath the noise, the wounds, the conditioning, lies the version of you that doesn't need to manifest the dream, because they are the dream, breathing, walking, radiating. So let's activate that now, not through theory, but through vibration. Close your eyes, take a slow, deep breath, and imagine a mirror. In this mirror, you don't see your past. You see your truest self, the version of you who is fully aligned, who trusts the field, who moves with ease, who attracts through stillness, who creates without chasing, who remembers who they truly are. Look into their eyes. They are calm, they are powerful, they are luminous. Now step into them. Feel what they feel. Stand as they stand. Think from their center. Speak with their clarity. Notice how your spine adjusts, how your breath softens, how your energy expands. This isn't imagination, this is embodiment. This is entanglement with your future self. And once you entangle, you can't unsee, you can't unknow, you can't go back. Because now, the loop is broken, the identity is upgraded, the signal has changed. From this place, you don't react, you radiate. You don't try, you transmit. And the field adjusts to match you. Reality is no longer something you chase. It becomes something that orbits your vibration. So ask yourself now, not from your mind, but from your frequency. Who am I now? Because the answer isn't a name, it's a vibration. You are the field. You are the frequency. You are the future remembering itself. And as this version of you, you're not here to wait. You're here to collapse timelines. So let's collapse one now. Repeat silently or aloud. I am the vibration of my highest reality. I no longer seek the future. I am tuned into it. I don't wait to become. I remember who I am. I am coherence. I am presence. I am the fifth dimension in form. Feel that. Let it echo through your chest, your cells, the room around you. Let it imprint. Because you're not just watching, you're shifting your state. You're choosing your timeline, right here, right now. So if this message resonated, if you felt your field expand, your spine straighten, your soul whisper yes, then leave a mark below. Comment, I collapse my new reality, not as a phrase, but as a declaration. And if you're ready to keep rising with us, to expand this field, to walk this path, to live in this frequency, then subscribe. Not for more content, but for more coherence. This is a community. This is a vibration. This is a movement of souls who remember. The third dimension was never your home. You came here to transform it from within. And now, the transformation has begun.